name is Brooklyn and today I'm going to be doing a bookshelf tour. Now, I'm getting new bookshelves delivered today actually, but I thought I wanted to showcase the ones that I have now, just so I can compare the two and see how much better the new ones are going to look. And also, as you can see, they're kind of a mess, but they are my shelves, so I wanted to kind of like show them off as they are. So that's what we're going to be doing today. And then I'm going to upload a video of me reorganizing these books onto my new shelves, so hopefully that will happen pretty soon. I feel like this is going to be a very long time little fiddly video to do, as a lot of people say it's like their biggest chore to do something like this, but I really wanted to do it and I can't wait to see it at the end to see how it goes. But for now, that's all that there is to say. Hopefully you enjoy this video and let's get into it.
Okay, so these are my bookshelves in all their glory, including Harry Styles. So this is what they look like from afar. My two bookshelves, my book cart, and Harry. Harry needs to not have much appearance in this as I gave him way too much screen time. But anyway, just from here, just an overlook at these. I've had these shelves for a few years and as you can see that they are very badly bending and about to collapse, but we're not going to talk about it. I don't know how all those Harry Potter books up there are staying, but that is the case. Anyway, I will go through with you from left to right. I think that's how we're going to go about it, and then we'll go to my book cart. Okay, so to begin with, this is my Harry Potter collection and I'm very excited to show you it. I have had a lot of this stuff for a really long time and Harry Potter has had such a big impact to my life, so I am definitely a big collector of Harry Potter stuff. I have like my original copies of the books just here. I will not get them out because everything will fall, but as you can see that there's like a few copies of the Philosopher's Stone, and then I've also got the Tales of the Beetle and the Bard and Quidditch Through the Ages and Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. I've got Harry Potter, He Lights Up, and then I've got this absolutely wonderful candle and it's of Hogwarts around it, and as you burnt it there's a ring at the bottom for your house, and I crazily got Ravenclaw, so I was very lucky in that sense. Or maybe you could buy it with Ravenclaw, but there were like a lot of them to find, and my friend got me that and he knows how much I love Harry Potter, so it was really good. And then I've got this amazing Professor Quirrell pop vinyl. He's probably my favorite pop because at the back it's Voldemort, so I absolutely love that so much. And then we've got Dumbledore, and then behind Dumbledore we've got Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, and then the Fantastic Beasts original screenplay as well. And we've got the Golden Snitch, and then the wand at the back there is Cedric Diggory's and it's so beautiful. And then I've got just this notebook that has the Hogwarts logo on it, the school logo, and my Ravenclaw tie. That's just like a little key ring. We've got Lucius, Dobby, Mad Eye Moody. I've got a time turner that I got for free with something and it's so old, but I love it so much. And then we've got Harry, Ron, another Dobby because I love Dobby, and some of these are ornaments for Christmas trees, but I just liked them so I just put them up here as well. And then on Christmas I have my Harry Potter tree, and then I have Hermione and the Hogwarts Express, little Malfoy I've got for Lego, a Hogwarts acceptance letter, and the Sorting Hat. And then my favourite new additions is this Ravenclaw box set of the Harry Potter books, and they're absolutely stunning. I will show you. This one's actually damaged, which I'm really upset about. Amazon, thank you for that. So beautiful. My house is Ravenclaw, as you probably could notice already, but like look at these, just incredible. And then they've got a blurb specifically for what happens with the Ravenclaws in this book and like what's important to do with Ravenclaw. Also, I've got these bibliophile earrings that are really cute that I picked up from the bookshop, but they aren't Harry Potter related, honestly. So yes, that is my Harry Potter shelf. Next up is my Friends and like TV shows and movies collection stuff. So I have got Friends tarot cards as well. I absolutely love these cards so much. I really got into tarot cards for a little bit there, and they were just so cool. I had to get them because I absolutely love Friends so much. It means a lot to me as well, and my mum and my sister and I are just like obsessed with it, and it helped us through a bad time, so I'll always love Friends. But I have like each of them. I finally got all of them. I was missing Phoebe, but I finally have her now. I've got this sign as well my grandma got me. Rachel always falls down. She's like on blue tack, if you can see that. So annoying. But anyway, we've got Darth Vader, Baby Yoda, Grogu, because I got into Star Wars for a little bit there. When I watched it for the first time, I got obsessed with it. I have Patrick Bateman from American Psycho, because this movie kind of got me into wanting to be doing something in psychology. And we've got 2 Freddie Mercurys, one is mine and one is my partner's, and we love Freddie Mercury, we love Queen, so yes. And then I've got Kelly Kapoor from The Office, just randomly in there. I would love to get The Office pop vinyls, but I don't know if I'm in my pop vinyl era anymore. It's just too expensive for no reason. And then we've got Groot, because baby Groot, because we love Marvel. And then I've got my Hogwarts mug as well, with heaps and heaps of bookmarks and also concert tickets and stuff in there. This is probably one of my favorites. We were on a break. I should actually put that up there. That would be really cute. Like, as you can see, I've got like One Direction in 2015 or also that. Anyway, but yeah, that is my little TV show movie little section. Next up, we have Sarah J Maas and also Laura Olympus, but we'll get to that. First of all, we have the whole entire Throne of Glass series, and I am up to Tower of Dawn, so I'm nearly finished it. But I won't get it out as it's very in there right now. But we have Assassin's Blade, Throne of Glass, Crown of Midnight, Heir of Fire, Queen of Shadows, Empire of Storms, Tower of Dawn, and Kingdom of Ash. And then move over to a Court of Thorns and Roses series that I have not read and cannot wait to read, hopefully this year. So we have a Court of Thorns and Roses, a Court of Mist and Fury, a Court of Frost and Starlight, a Court of Wings and Ruin, and a Court of Silver Flames. And then we have the Crescent City duo. I haven't read House of Sky and Breath yet, but I have read House of Earth and Blood twice. So I'm waiting to read A Court of Thorns and Roses before I read House of Sky and Breath, as there's connections apparently. This little beautiful owl that just goes with the blue of House of Sky and Breath, so I put that there. And then we have the first 3 volumes in the Laura Olympus series by Rachel Smith. I absolutely love this series. I have not read it on webtoons or anything, but I would absolutely love to, because I can't get enough of Persephone and Hades. They're absolutely amazing characters. The pinks and the blues are just brilliant. But yeah, they're absolutely stunning, these books are. And then we have a pretty full shelf again with my Cassandra Clare collection, and yeah, it's very chock-a-block in here. But to the left over here, we start with Clockwork Angel and Clockwork Prince. They're kind of out of order a little bit, so sorry about that. And then I've got Clockwork Princess here. Those are the 3 books in the Infernal Devices. And then I've got the Mortal Instruments series, so City of Bones, City of Ashes, City of Glass, City of Fallen Angels, City of Lost Souls, and City of Heavenly Fire. And that was like the first kind of series that I got into reading with, and I absolutely love it and have so much nostalgia for it. But the Infernal Devices is probably my favorite. And then below we have the Shadowhunters Codex, and I absolutely love this. It's just got a whole bunch of like runes, and it's basically like the lore book and kind of just a little companion book to the series, to all of the Shadowhunter books, and I just love to have it. I need to actually like look through that soon. It's really lovely. And then we have a Parabatai rune pin, and then here we have an illustrated history of notable Shadowhunters and Denzians of the Downworld, and this basically, I'll just show you it. So this just has like illustrations of characters in the Shadowhunter world, and it's so incredibly beautiful. Look at Jocelyn, Clary, like, oh, Katarina, brothers like Alec, oh, just makes me so happy. Oh my gosh, Matthew, no, okay, we need to like calm, because look at him, he's absolutely beautiful. He's my favorite. And then I've got the 3 books with novellas in them, so Ghost of the Shadow Market, The Bane Chronicles, and Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy, and all of these are just little novellas in between the series that kind of connect them, and you don't have to read them, but they're really good to have like little inside kind of jokes or things that have happened, and I really appreciate them, especially Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy. I think that one is essential. Reading the Last Hours series for sure. We have the Dark Artificers, so Lady Midnight, Lord of Shadows, and Queen of Air and Darkness. This series is absolutely stunning, the best books I've probably ever owned. And then we've got the first two books in the Last Hours, so Chain of Gold and Chain of Iron. And then here I also have Chain of Thorns, as it cannot fit in here, hence why we're getting new bookshelves, but I'm halfway through this, but absolutely love it. I love the Shadowhunters so much. And what is this up here? Oh, it's a wolf. Next, we start on my color coding system that's kind of not very good. With red, we start here, and we've got 13 Reasons Why by Jay Asher. I read this quite a long time ago, and yes, I have nothing to say. Then we have The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. I read this a very long time ago as well, love the show. Next is Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertalli. Then we have The Elite in the Selection series by Kira Cass. Hunting Prince Dracula by Kerry Menescaloko. Did I say that right? I think I did. I haven't read this series yet, but I really want to get to it because it seems amazing. And then we've got Deity, which is in the Covenant series by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I have read this series. I got up to like, maybe I have read not the last book. I don't know why. This series was so good. The cover's not so great. Next is A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. This is one of my favorite series of all time. Absolutely love it and recommend it so much. Forever, which is the last book in this trilogy. I forget what it's called, by Maggie Stiefvater. Dorothy Must Die by Danielle Page. I read this quite a long time ago and really enjoyed it too. A Wizard of Oz retelling. This is the last book in the Dark Shade of Magic trilogy, Conjuring of Light. Brilliant book. Then we have Rebel Spring by Morgan Rhodes. This series I've always wanted to read. I haven't read it yet, but it's a nice hardcover fantasy book that I want to get to at some point. Silence by Becca Fitzpatrick. This is maybe the third book in the Hush Hush series, and I read the first three and I just didn't read the last one, so I need to get to that. It's been quite some time. I really liked this series when I read it, but I probably wouldn't now. Then we have Illuminae by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. This is a chunky book full of different types of it's like multimodal, which I absolutely loved about it. Very sci-fi, which is not normally my thing, but great book. We have Apollyon by Jennifer L. Armentrout. Ruin and Rising by Leigh Bardugo. I have read this series. I think I read Shadow and Bone and didn't really enjoy it that much, so I'm not sure if I'm going to continue with it. Next is With the Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo, and I didn't like this book. It was like okay, but it just didn't like hit it for me. But it's a really it's about cooking, and I don't really like books about cooking, so maybe that's why. Then we have this little fish. I think that's from Mexico, from my fiance's dad. I'm pretty sure it's from Mexico, but it's really lovely. Really like him. I have Carry On by Rainbow Rowell, which is basically Harry Potter fan fiction. That is the fan fiction in Fangirl, which I loved it, so I had to get that. I haven't continued on, which I wish I did. And then we have Shadow and Bone. Don't know, I guess the gold, I don't know why that's really there, but anyway, Shadow and Bone. Next is my yellow, pink and green shelf, as I don't have many books, so I don't have many colours. This is probably my favourite shelf, as you can probably see why. Start with Lola and the Boy Next Door by Stephanie Perkins, one of my favourite companion series of all time. Grown by Tiffany Jackson. This was an absolutely beautiful book, and the cover is stunning. Beautiful World, Where Are You by Sally Rooney. This was also a really amazing book, and I love Normal People too. I actually don't own Normal People, but another very out there cover, but I love it. Next we have Paper Towns by John Green, a little throwback to my 12-year-old days with this massive sticker. Look how dirty this is and old. Oh my gosh. King's Rising by C.S. Pacat. This series is absolutely amazing, the Captive Prince trilogy, and this is the third book, and oh my gosh, please read that if you haven't. Loved it. Then we have a little shrine, not really, to The Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas, my favourite romance of all time. And then some pretty pink books, Anna and the French Kiss, Red, White and Royal Blue, and One Lost Stop by Casey McQuiston. And all amazing romance books that I definitely recommend, and amazing covers. Then we have President Snow standing up here for no apparent reason, not with the Hunger Games or anything. We have Isla and the Happily Ever After, which is the third book in the series with Stephanie Perkins. Then we have Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. Absolutely loved this book, and it's a part of my childhood. Percy Jackson and the Sea of Monsters by Rick Riordan. Night Me by Tahara Murphy, and this is in the Shadow Me series. Linger by Maggie Stiefvater, which is the second book in that werewolf series I was talking about before. Stalking Jack the Ripper, the second. I don't know if these are in order, but it's the same as the Dracula one that I really want to read. Then it's Siege and Storm by Leigh Bardugo, another book in the Grishaverse that I haven't read. Where She Went by Gail Forman, which is the sequel to If I Stay, and I read this quite a while ago. It got me in the feels then. Then we continue on with the Greens. Speaking of Greens, John Green, the introduction was done by him, and I really wanted to buy it at the time. So this is The Star Won't Go Out. I feel like this was the inspiration of The Fault in Our Stars, but I'm not entirely sure. But it's a very lovely, emotional book. Damon, which is the prequel to Half-Blood, which we will get to soon, but it's in the Covent series by Jennifer L. Armentrout. Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Absolutely amazing book. Very much recommend. Love Taylor Jenkins Reid. The Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson. This is a series I've always wanted to read as well and have never gotten to, but one day I will. 20 Questions for Gloria by Martin Bedford. I've never gotten to this. I probably should unhaul it. I probably will never read this. Next is the sequel to Dorothy Must Die, Wicked Will Rise. This was also another great book. The Lost Hero by Rick Riordan. I'm pretty sure this is the first book in the Heroes of Olympus. I haven't read this yet, but one time I want to get to it. This is the sequel to the Shadow Me series, Unravel. We have Girl Online by Zoe Sugg. Of course I had to get this. I love Zoe Sugg. Not the greatest book, but was okay. The Selection by Kira Cass, the first book in this series. And another first book is The Captive Prince by C.S. Pacat. Got Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief, the first book in the series. Actually not on my Cassandra Clare shelf up there is The Red Scrolls of Magic, which is Alec and Magnus's kinda story that I haven't gotten to yet, but I need to because I love and adore Magnus and Alec, but there was just no room up there, so it's down here with the blues. Then we've got Wonder by R.J. Palacio. I read this book for English at school and I really enjoyed it. There was a lot of stuff going on in this that was really great for English to annotate, and I think a lot of people should read it. We have another book in the Covenant series, Sential. Another book in the Covenant series, Pure. This is the second book. I absolutely wish I had all of the same covers, but they just didn't make them anymore, and by the time I wanted to read them, they're like this, so that's what we have to deal with, guys. Next is Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune. I recently read this. Klune is such a great author and his stuff is just incredible. Shiver by Maggie Stiefvater. This is the first book in the, I'm gonna say it's the Shiver trilogy. I don't know if it's actually called that. Then we have The Heart of Betrayal by Mary E. Pearson. I don't know what book this is in the same series as The Kiss of Deception. I think it's the Remnant Chronicles. There you go. But I don't know if it's the second or the third, but I got it from the op shop as well. So one day when I get to that, I'll have two of the books in the series at least, maybe not in order, but that's all right. The second book in the Vampire Academy series, Frostbite, Shall Mead. I read up to the second book and loved it, and I don't know why I didn't continue. I think I saw the movie and was like, no, I'm done, but yeah, I shouldn't have stopped. Then we have A Great and Terrible Beauty by Libba Bray. This is a book that was all over BookTube in like 2014, and I picked it up because of that, but I don't really think I'll ever read it. But we'll see, maybe one day. A Little Tiny Book by Madeline Miller, which is a short story of Galatée. Then we have a range of things going on. This is probably my least favorite shelf as it's just a mess, and Samuel Tarly is always fallen over, if not Jon Snow. This is a little, exactly as I was just saying. This is a little music box that my mum got me, which is beautiful. And then also up here we have a Fable Crate exclusive pin, which is just the Queen of Hearts. So the first book on this box is How It Feels to Float. I haven't read this book either. I think I got this to review and just never got to it. Then we have the first book, Shadow Me, Tahara Murphy. Beautiful cover again. Look at those eyes. Oh my gosh. Amazing book. The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. This book is so damaged. The pages are coming out of it, but it was
incredible and I loved it so much. And we have Love Letters to the Dead by Ava Deliria. I read this probably 2 years ago and I didn't really like it. I feel like it was a bit too young adult for me to enjoy. Then we have 2 books in the Lunar Chronicles. I don't know, Cinder must be down there somewhere. Anyway, we've got Cress and Scarlet. They're out of order. Cress is the second one, and no, Cress is the third one and Scarlet is the second one. I love this series. I've only gotten up to Scarlet, so I need to get back into it. The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. Another book in the Covenant series. I think this is the first one, Half-Blood. The second book, Girl Online on Tour by Zoe Sub. And the third Percy Jackson book, Titan's Curse. And we have Hagseed by Margaret Atwood. I read this for school as well and compared it with Shakespeare's Tempest. I feel like that's what it was. It's been a while, guys, sorry. We have The Queen of Nothing by Holly Black. I feel like this is the sequel to The Cruel Prince, or maybe the third book. I'm not entirely sure. But another series that I feel like the ship has sailed, as I'm not really into this kind of YA business anymore, but we'll see how we go. I have all the books, so I probably should read them. Crown, which is book 5 in the Selection series. If I Stay by Gail Forman, the first book in this duology. The Heir by Kira Cass, the 4th book in the Selection series. The Book Thief by Marcus Suzak. I've read this book probably like 3 times. It was very influential into me learning about the Holocaust and a few other things. I just really enjoyed the writing and the narration through death. It was just, yeah, really great. Then is the second book in the Captive Prince trilogy, Prince's Gambit by C.S. Pacat. Then we have the first 2 books in the Hush Hush series by Becca Fitzpatrick, and that is Hush Hush and Crescendo. Then is Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. This book was definitely making the rounds quite a while ago on BookTube by Ransom Riggs. I didn't really enjoy this, but it was a very creative and unique. The next shelf is basically black books. Okay, and so we start off with The Fault in Our Stars by John Green, a classic. I've had that for a very long time. Stephen King, It. The Giver by Lewis Lowry. I read that a very long time ago as well, and it was really good when I read it. Then we've got 3 Twilight books. I do not know. I think Breaking Dawn might be like behind there because it's hiding. It's just such a massive book and I just don't want it on here. I have The Hunger Games, absolutely love. And we have Crave by Tracy Wolff. I read this recently and didn't really enjoy it actually, so I won't be continuing on with that series. Angel Fall by Susan E. And I haven't read this book yet. It has really good reviews and I've always wanted to read it, so that's definitely still in the TBR, and it's really short as well, so I may as well just pick it up. Then there is Will Grayson by John Green and David Levithan. I actually haven't read this one. It's probably one of the only John Green books I haven't read on my shelf. More Than This by Patrick Ness. It's actually my only signed book ever. I met him in person, which was very exciting at the time because it was the only author I've ever met in real life. Gone Girl and The Grown Up by Gillian Flynn. I really enjoyed The Grown Up. I don't think I've ever read Gone Girl, but it's just there because everyone else was reading it at the time, so I picked it up. The Maze Runner by James Dashner. I enjoyed the first book, but I really enjoyed the movies a lot more, probably because of Dylan O'Brien. Looking for Alaska by John Green, probably one of my favourite John Green books ever. And then there is The Road by Cormac McCarthy. I did that one for school as well and did not like it one bit. The Hobbit, I haven't read that, haven't read any of the Lord of the Rings or watched it, so one day I will do that, but not today. The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer by Michelle Hodkin. I did read this book not too long ago and actually really enjoyed it, so I need to continue on. From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout, absolutely amazing. I need to continue on with that series as well because holy moly, I love it. This is the worst book I've ever read, The Rain by Virginia Bergen. I did not like this one bit. I thought I would like it as I love The Rain. No. Worst book I've ever read. Then it's a Friends essay book which has really bad reviews and I haven't read it yet, but it's called I'll Be There For You by Kelsey Miller. I love Friends, as you've seen before, but I haven't picked that up yet. Finale, Final, I'm not sure how you would pronounce that. I don't know how they wanted it, but Becca Fitzpatrick's last book in the Hush Hush series. Then we have Cinder, the first book in the series, and Dracul. It's Bram Stoker's grandson or son. Then we have mostly white books, also Colleen Hoover, and some graphic novels. Got my tarot card book up the top. We have a range of Colleen Hoover, as I loved Colleen Hoover back in the day, not so much now. So we've got Hopeless, Verity, Maybe Someday, and Maybe Not.
November 9, Reminders of Him, Confess, and then the Slam series, so Slammed, Point of Retreat, This Girl, and then of course it ends with Us. And probably my favourite is Ugly Love, which I don't have. I have a few that I haven't read, but I have read all of these. My least favorites are Verity and Hopeless, but I love the Maybe Someday and the Slam series a lot. And then here we've got this little cute jewelry box that my grandparents got me from Italy actually, and it's really nicely made and it's just absolutely stunning. And then here we've got the second book in the Dark Shade of Magic series, A Gathering of Shadows. Two Boys Kissing by David Leatherman that I really enjoyed when I was younger. The Knife of Never Letting Go by Patrick Ness. Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell, another great Rainbow Rowell book. She writes amazingly. The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. I actually didn't really enjoy this one that much as everyone else did. Achilles was kind of a dick. Law by Alexander Bracken. I haven't got to this one yet, but I really want to. We've got Little Women by Louisa May Alcott, and I've always wanted to read this, and I got this beautiful cover, special edition one for the 150th anniversary, and I really want to get to that soon. Got the one which is the selection series book, and then the first book in the Vampire Academy series. We have 1, 2, 7 for Saga. I haven't got the rest yet and I really need to get them. And then we've got Bodies. I don't even know who this is by. It's by a lot of people. It looks like I really like this. It was really fun and different. The first Amulet graphic novel, as I really wanted to read it, but I didn't really like it that much. It's a bit too middle grade for me to enjoy. Next up we have the book cart. This is kind of a mess and not very organized, but it's supposed to be my TBR cart, but there's a lot of books on here that I have actually read. But we'll start with the first shelf. So just as like a pre-warning, this is my nail polish stuff in this cute little sausage dog bag, and then I've got some earmuffs that I don't know why I bought, but they're there. But anyway, that's okay. But I have Cress again because I accidentally bought it twice, so I need to figure out what I'm doing with that winter as well, because I hadn't got that one in the series. It Gets Cold, Tales from the Cafe. I just recently read this and absolutely loved it. Probably one of the best books I will read this year. Then we have a psychology book, The Boy Who Was Raised as a Dog, and it's basically just stories from a psychiatrist about his patients and clients. The Boy Who Was Raised as a Dog is one of those in there, and it's just really helping me kind of understand psychology in different settings and different cases and that kind of thing, and it's doing it in a way that is really informative, so I really am enjoying that. I'm not very far through though. It's very heavy to read. And then another psychology book, The Little Book of Psychology, as I am studying psych at uni, so I just wanted some more little informative books. We've got the next two books on Blood and Ash series, so A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire and The Crown of Gilded Bones. And we've got this absolutely stunning cover or edition of Only a Monster by Vanessa Len that I got from the Fable Crate book box. It's just really beautiful, sprayed edges, black, and yeah, just like gorgeous. And I haven't read it yet, but I am very happy with it, having it on my shelf. Next we have Turtles All the Way Down by John Green, another John Green actually that I haven't picked up yet. The American Roommate Experiment by Elena Armas. Twisted Love, which is actually on my TBR for this month. We have Vicious and Vengeful Around the Wrong Way by V. Schwab. We have The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. I need to get to that. So long on my shelf, but anyway. We have the Plated Prisoner series. So we have Gleam and Glow. There's too many books that I'm thinking about right now. I've read the first one, but I haven't continued on, and hopefully I get to the second one really soon. Fine Print by Lauren Asher. I really want to read this. It's a billionaire's brother's romance, I think. I have My Killer Vacation by Tessa Bailey, also on my TBR. Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. I haven't read this one, but I have read Love on the Brain. Next on this shelf, we have this little lady staring at us. That's from South Africa, from my fiance's dad as well. When he goes away, he always gets something very lovely with work. So yes, it's a little, I forget what they're called, but she's absolutely beautiful and I love her. The Unexpected Everything by Morgan Matson. I have not got to this one yet. It has been on my shelf for a very, very long time. Happened One Summer and Hook, Line and Sinker, both by Tessa Bailey. Both I absolutely love and recommend a lot. And another book I recommend is The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. Absolutely beautiful The cover is beautiful too, if I can get it out. We have these Penguin Classic black books. I love these. They're so cute. I went through a phase of collecting them, and they're like, yeah, I'm not going to go through each one because there's a lot of them, and they're just like classic books anyway. My favorites are probably Oscar Wilde and William Blake. Also Edgar Allan Poe. I just absolutely love their style of writing, and it's all kind of like the same eerie vibe. And then I've just got a photo album here that's not really bookish related at all. And then the Fable Crate box, there's nothing in there. It's just, I just wanted to have it out because it's the only book box I've ever bought in my life, so I needed evidence of it. And then lastly, we have a few of some classic old books, and then some of my partner's books, and then some books that I just have, you know, just books that I don't need on my shelf. Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. Read that quite a while ago. It's a really old edition. I think my granddad got it for me. Really lovely editions of Dracula and The Picture of Dorian Gray. They're black sprayed edges and green. This is a bit but the spines are beautiful, and so are the covers. The Picture of Dorian Gray is probably one of my favorite books of all time, so I absolutely love it, and so is Dracula. I absolutely love when I read this and did it at school. To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. Classic book that everyone should read. Then we have a Napoleon history book. I did a Napoleon massive essay in school, so that's why I have that massive big ass book. Crucible by Arthur Miller. Probably one of my favorite plays ever. Look at these disgusting tabs out way too far. I really enjoyed this when I read it, and as a play as well. Then I also have this. It's from the book box that I bought, and it says I'm not really good with impulse control, and it's from Vampire Academy. Then we have a few of my partner's books: Just Watch Me, The Tattooist of Auschwitz, Honeybee, and Ready Player One. 3 books in one edition of the Summer I Turned Pretty series, and I think I've only read the first 2, and I didn't really want to continue on, but I'm absolutely loving the Amazon Prime series of it. It was so good, and I can't wait for that to continue. The Infernal Devices Clockwork Angel graphic novel, that also didn't fit up there, and I didn't go out and buy more of these. I think maybe I will to reread them. Then we have A Game of Thrones and A Clash of Kings. For some reason I have these 2 books in the series. The Evolution of Mara Heartless by Marissa Meyer. And then the last book on my shelf is Since You've Been Gone by Morgan Matson, and I have read that one and did enjoy it not too long ago. So there it is. There is my bookshelf tour. I hope you enjoyed. I hope it wasn't too repetitive. Yeah, I just wanted to capture what my shelves looked like, and for you guys to get like a little bit of an insight into all the books that are on my shelf, so you know my reading tastes and what I've loved in the past, and it's kind of just like a flick through of everything. Hopefully in the future I can do better with that and kind of get a sense of what's a better style to do a bookshelf tour in, but I was like umming and ahhing over it for so long that I was like, look, I'm just gonna do it and see how we go. Thank you for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe and like this video, and let me know what books on here that you would like to see me talk about more of, or you've liked and read and everything like that. So yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Bye.